Hey family, it's Tara Chantel and we're back at it with another child-free video. I appreciate the love, I appreciate the comments, I appreciate the responses so much, and I just had to dive a little bit deeper on this subject because y'all feel me? Y'all feel me? And when you feel me, now we can really talk. Now we can really digest what's going on. And what I just have observed is the society does not think. We don't be thinking out here. A lot of people are unconscious with how they are maneuvering this path, while I have just been awakened spiritually, and now I think twice before I do anything. I move different and I ask questions out here. So when I ask someone why do they choose to have kids, it's always I. And it's very egotistical for me. I want a kid. I want this. I want that. And it's very shocking. It's very alarming because it's really driven off of ego. Most people have kids off of egotistical reasons. They want to compete with their past trauma of how their childhood was, so they want to have their kid have a better life than themselves. So now they're just gonna throw their baggage onto this kid, and now they walking around in pain, in shambles, because we're not raising and guiding these young spirits properly. We are just throwing baggage on these kids. We just want them to be mini us and mini me's and just do what I say and do this, live this way, don't talk back. We tend to have authority over the child because we feel like we have created them, which that does not exist, that term. But now we do not allow the child, the spirit, to have the free expression that their heart desires. And that is when the ego gets in the way. We have been in this patriarchal society where we feel as though the parent is in charge and the parent is the boss, when the parent called this child into their life to teach them a valuable lesson of themselves. So when the child ever triggers you, it means the parent still has pain within themselves that they have not healed yet. And most people have not healed their inner child. They want to have their own child and corrupt their mind and control them and feel as though they want to make them happy and become successful. But how can you do that when you are unconscious in your mind and not healed your inner child? We must heal our inner child first and foremost. We still have our inner child in us, but we sometimes have been suppressing it, and now that leads to anxiety, that leads to depression, and then that's gonna go into our body in a dis-ease, and now we walking around with a disease out here because we have not taken the time to let out the trauma, let out the pain, and cry a little bit. Recently, I was just in the car and I had to just let out all the tears of my inner child, to let the inner child in me that I still love and appreciate and care for you. And you don't have to change anything. You are perfect the way you are. But as society tries to diminish our confidence and our self-worth, because it's a lot of broken people that are raising broken people, and now we just in a brokenness mess, a hot mess. So it's just unconscious souls walking around not ask fundamental questions of why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? We are not awakening our minds to question everything. The reason why I'm choosing a child-free life is because I'm healing the inner child in me. This inner child did not just go anywhere. We reincarnated into this body, into this being right now, but we still have so much healing that must be done. And the audacity, we feel as though we have the ability to raise a being when we have not developed ourselves is ridiculous to me, because now this kid is a sponge. They pick up the hurt, they pick up the pain, they pick up when mommy and daddy's energy is low. So now the child is gonna suffer from this, and I don't do well seeing children suffer and children in chaos and children in abuse when they did not ask to be here. The parent calls the child in their life so they can teach them a lesson. But now we have been wired to believe that the child needs us. We think we just cook and clean for them and put on clothes. You have to truly guide this spirit for this spirit to live out their highest expression of themselves. And you have to get out the way with it. You can't be in control and want them to be happy, because the way it's framed, it's still in I. It's still an ego. I want my child to be happy. You don't have to want anything, because that's in an egotistical manner. If you truly want this being to be, that's all it has to do. That's all it should be. It's just that simple. But we tend to have this way of life confused. The reason why we're in confusion, because a lot of people don't know why they do certain things. And I realize I have so much inner work that I have to do. And the life I want to live is truly healing the self. And that's a never-ending process. That's a never-ending process of consciousness that we have to continue to awaken. Every day is going to be a challenge, an obstacle that's going to test your character. It's going to test your faith. And if you are still triggered, if you are still bothered by when someone tries you, that means work still has to be done. Our relationships are a mirror to ourselves. So our children, it's no bad child, it's no good child. It's no, this child is a pain, this child is a rebel. It's a mirror to yourself. And a lot of times when a child is a rebel, and I was the child that was a rebel, I am the black sheep of the family. I am the one that does not do well with authority. I don't do well with someone telling my soul what to do. So the fact of the matter is, when you know yourself, you know your abilities, you know what you're capable of, now you question and you tend to allow yourself to master the mind that's inside of you, because everything is mental. This is all a mental game, and everything is spiritual. And we are spiritual beings having this temporary human experience. And no one owns you. No one owns you. So just because a child comes out of you and you were the vehicle for them to maneuver on this path, it's so important to let them be free and let them be them, and not try to control because we want our ego to be right. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be in a relationship? And the relationship should matter the most. This child that you called into your life to help you solve whatever problems that you needed to be solved, because this inner child in you still is there. The child does not owe you anything. You owe this child so much because you needed this child. Most people need children for them to get their stuff together, so they can get motivated, so they can get back on track, so they can have discipline and structure. Children will teach you so much about yourself if you allow them to talk, allow them to be. Children are so innocent. We dump all of our stuff on them. That's why they end up being broken and messed up. Because of us, it all starts in the childhood. So the audacity, the audacity, people bring children in this world when they have not even touched the surface of the inner work that they have to do within themselves. So now, you a goofy. Now you out here gonna bring a little goofy up in here. Now we just gonna be all goofy together. That's how we looking. It's just a big goofy and a little goofy. And now we end up having chaos and dysfunction because everyone's bumping into each other, not knowing themselves, and just living unconscious and just dumping their stuff, their insecurity, their pain, their hurt on a soul being that is so innocent, cannot tell the difference of someone who don't have knowledge of themselves and is not knowledgeable, and just go with the flow of what they're being told and what they're being fed. But a lot of time, these children are being fed junk food. They are being fed junk food. Children today are being babysitted by tablets. Parents are not even present with this being. They're not even being present. They rather than just shut up, get dressed, do what I say, and don't say anything else. Children are supposed to be seen, not heard, right? Children are not supposed to have a say in here, right? It's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous. When you lay down and had this child so they can help you, develop you, and grow you up, but you're not paying the proper care, the proper attention, and showing them the love that they need. All they need is love. All they need to do is having them be encouraged, inspired, and you have to speak with kindness, you have to speak with compassion, and you have to just truly be present. But just most of the time, it's really alarming when I hear people say, I want a child because of this, I want a child because of that, I. And it's all driven off of ego. You don't know what you're getting yourself into when you call this spirit into your life. They're going to show you who you really are. They're going to test your patience. They're going to show you that you still have so much healing to do. And you were unconscious when you decided to make that big move and you wasn't ready, Freddie. And you're never going to be ready because the job, the duty of raising another spirit, you're not gonna get it right. You're not gonna get it right. It's impossible. You're not. People are always concerned, am I gonna be a good parent? Am I a good parent? You're still thinking about self. You can't think about self when you're bringing another spirit into this realm. It's about this spirit and just having the compassion for them. Is so important. It's so important. I appreciate you so much for tuning in, for tapping in to the Childfree Talk. We're going to have plenty of these because I got a lot to say. Okay? I got a lot to say. It's your girl, Tara Chantel, and I appreciate you, love you so much. And you know I just love my youth. I love my youth. I'm going to speak for the youth. I'm going to talk about the youth. And it's just so important that we get ourselves together for the youth. I appreciate you.